Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
I think we're going to get goals from both sides here. Give me over 5.5.
That is also one of my favorite plays of the weekend is the Colts -3 on the road.
So you're getting plus 130 here.
I mean, how can you go against Tusky?
Exactly.
Join Sports by the Book at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
Happy New Year's Eve, everybody, and welcome in. We made it, two of my favorite sports days. We already have some college basketball, college football, and a hockey game underway. We've got a ton to get to. Quarterfinals start tonight with the Cotton Bowl. Then we've got 3 big games coming up tomorrow. This is Sports by the Book. Thank you for checking us out. If you are watching live, please jump in the comments section. We already saw Jimmy Football and Attila in there, and I had to miss yesterday, but I'm back. I knew that Ryan and Matt, the show was in good hands, and it was because they gave out some winners too. So I'm excited to be back. We're going to break down a lot of these games, some bowl games coming up. As I mentioned, the Cotton Bowl, Miami and Ohio, and then some NHL games as well. A ton of college basketball too. If you want any numbers for those, please put them in the chat. And then Chris Andrews, Sportsbook Director here at the South Point, because we are live from the South Point each and every day. He will join us the back half to talk about any line movements for these quarterfinal games and Week 18 in the NFL. I'm Alex White alongside Ryan McCormick. Both of us are here 5 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m., and on Fridays at noon Pacific time. Ryan, great day for you guys yesterday. Love to see it. A lot of winners for you in hockey. And then Matt, of course, with a bowl game winner.
Yeah, I followed Matt with TCU. Got lucky there at the end with a game winner, but yeah, plus 175 on the money line, and then 4 hockey winners yesterday. Attila let us know he followed us on 3 of the plays. But yeah, I had the Maple Leafs money line and took them on the reverse puck line, which was good. They shut out the Devils. And then the under in the Islanders Blackhawks game, and the Canadians getting it done on the road against the Panthers, as the Panthers were looking forward to their Winter Classic in Miami against the Rangers coming up in a couple of days. But then also have the Panthers money line on Saturday, and then the teaser, which already has moved against me on the Packers line. They are getting now 7.5, so you can get 13.5 instead of the 12 there. But that 13 there for the Commanders is gone. We'll be talking about it with Chris Andrews here in a bit, but Jalen Hurts ruled out for the Eagles. So that number is now moved down to closer to 4, 3.5 in some spots. And then the Chargers still getting that 12.5, so 18.5 there on the teaser. But yeah, great day in the NHL yesterday. Great day for Matt and I both. But to recap, we'll go hardwood first. The NBA favorites went 4-0 straight up and against the spread, and totals all went over. 4-0 favorites against the spread, 4-0 totals to the over. And then NCAA men's college basketball, 32 total games, 22-10 were favorites straight up. It was a good day to bet on the dogs against the spread, though. 11, 19, and 2, and then 19, 11, and 2 for underdogs against the spread. And then totals, 17, 14, and 1 there on the hardwood. And then going to the gridiron, the 3 bowl games that we had yesterday, favorites just went 1 and 2 straight up, 0 and 3 against the spread, and totals were 0, 2, and 1. We landed on the total of 57 in that TCU USC game. And then finally, the 5 hockey games yesterday, 2 and 3 straight up. 3 puck lines were covered, 2 of which were reverse, the one that I spotted, and the totals went 1 and 4 yesterday, 4 unders, 1 over. Matt did ask about the Grand Salami at 30 goals. We barely got there thanks to 9 goals in the Flyers Canucks game last night, got there to the under. 29 total goals out of 30 that we were allotted in for the Grand Salami there.
I did hear him ask about that, so I counted up my numbers as well and had a nod of approval because I agreed with that under. But you're right, just barely did that one stay under. Hopefully, hockey flips the switch. We want some overs, and hopefully NBA continues with those overs because that is our poll question. I don't know if it has been put in the chat just yet, but you'll see it. We have 1 game from each sport, and Ryan, I believe you picked the highest totals for every sport.
Yeah, we went with the highest listed numbers as the final day of the year, going for 2025 over. And so it is there for you now. So long, 2025. What's your year's over play today? Going with the over in the Las Vegas Bowl, featuring the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Utah Utes, listed at 51 here at the South Point. And then in the NBA, we've got Timberwolves and Hawks as the highest total on the board at 244. Then we've got college basketball, South Dakota versus North Dakota State at 164.5 here at the South Point. And then the highest total, we went with the highest priced total in the NHL, Sabres and Stars over 6, having a lay -120 there.
I love it. According to Ken Palma, that North Dakota State, South Dakota, is that the right one? Yes, it is. Should be a very high scoring game. They have it at 160, being the final 164, that is, or 163. But looking at the rest too, I mean, very interesting. And we know the Hawks love to run. And then I'm intrigued by that Stars and Sabres game because Buffalo is playing very good hockey right now. They are on a nice little win streak. Does that end? 9 wins in a row for Buffalo. Does that end now facing the Dallas Stars? We'll see. We'll see if we'll get a lot of goals in that one tonight as well. That one was a 6 yesterday, so it's been bet up and quite a bit. But as we talk about that, as you guys jump in, please give us your thoughts and jump in with the poll because our usuals are who watch the show regularly, regulars, have been hot. So we'd love to hear from you guys and love to know which game you think will go over and see if you guys can keep your streak alive as well. But let's go into tonight's action. We've got about 25 minutes here before Chris Andrews joins us. So we want to hit as many games as we can, and then we'll get his thoughts, of course, as well. But I want to start it off with the Cotton Bowl here, Ryan, and then we will go to the other bowl games that we do have. Some intriguing ones, too. I mean, the fact that Michigan and Texas is just a normal bowl game today. It is the Citrus Bowl. I heard Matt say that yesterday, too. Got to give the bowls their names here, but pretty intriguing, right? And then we do have the Vegas Bowl here that is at Allegiant, so I understand why that total is so high, being indoors. And then we'll get to some hockey, of course, because Ryan and I both have plays, and we're trying to stay hot because it's been a good week so far. But starting off with Miami, Florida, and Ohio State. Ohio State, of course, the defending champion, went on a roll last year through this 12-team playoff. Now they're hoping to do it again. This number has not moved. 9.5 for the Buckeyes, total 41. I know I've got my favorite plays in this one. Ryan, anything for you for tonight's matchup at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time here, the Cotton Bowl?
Well, we peaked at 10 on the 20th. So now 11 days ago, the 10 was available here at the South Point, and we've now been sitting, at that 9.5 for really the last 9 days, week plus, meaning that we got some pretty good two-way action on this game. But I do think the Hurricanes are live here. Their defense, I do believe, will be able to do enough, not necessarily completely dominate and control the line of scrimmage, but will be able to do enough to get into Julian Saint's face and maybe create some turnovers. We kind of saw that was an issue in the last couple of games for Ohio State. So having to go against a real defensive test like Miami and what this will be, we've seen the total now go down from 42.5 where it opened to now sitting at 41. So the action has been to the under, thinking it will be a defensive game. So I do think getting 9.5, if you were able to get the 10, is good here with the Hurricanes.
I don't mind it at all because I do expect a very low scoring game as well. I do like the full game under that total, but I really am going to take a shot here with some alt numbers. I saw that circa and alt under 36.5. You're getting plus 155. So I'm going to play that a little bit. And I don't know if this affects your bet, but it should be low scoring. I'm going Miami team total under 16.5. Now check around because I've seen all different types of numbers out there. I saw 17.5, but you have to lay minus 150. I saw 14.5. It is still minus 120. So make sure you get the best of it. 16.5. That one was at circa. It is minus 120 for the under as well. So you're getting 2 more points there with the same number. That is why Ryan and I talk about shopping around all the time. But I'm going to go with that one. Looks like we got it here at the South Point as well. Minus 115. Even a better number and saves me a trip to the Silverton. But that is going to be my best bet on the board. Just looking at Ohio State, and you talked about Miami. Their defense is very good as well. Ohio State best in the country, though, and looking at their median numbers, first half numbers, it's a 3, and this is just their 12 games. I took out the FCS. Median second half points allowed is a 6. Looking at the 5 best opponents that they played, the average of those games was 32.5, and the median number total final for those 5 matchups, a 30. So I do think both defenses are going to show up in this one. If you want to know Miami's too, really good. Median number first half, 4.5. Second half, 8.5. So a little bit of a struggle there. Can give up some points in that second half. And that's where I think Ohio State does get the win. I could see Miami covering, but I'm going with the unders here. And if you don't have all those books, I don't hate that under 41 as well.
Well, we can find a middle with getting the Hurricanes plus the points and getting the under in the game, getting the alt under 36, as long as both teams go under that team total and keep it relatively close there. So, don't hate that under, that alt under of 130 or 36.5. So, could be pretty good at plus 155.
You brought up a great point, though. We will find out a lot about Julian Saint, and I do think he has been tested. I mean, they faced Indiana, very low-scoring game there. Indiana's a very good defense, too, though. On the other side, you got Carson Beck, who has been in college football for a while now, of course, coming over from Georgia. So he's played in these big games, too. I think we're in for a good game here tonight.
I certainly agree. And it's not the only game going on in Texas today. We do have the Sun Bowl in El Paso between the Arizona State Sun Devils and the Duke Blue Devils. So a devil matchup there in El Paso. We've got Duke as a 3.5 point favorite here at the South Point, total at 48. It's bounced all over the place on the spread. Open Duke 1, climbed as high as 4, dropped all the way back down to 1.5. And now has climbed its way back up, toggling between 3 and 3.5. So people are confident in the Blue Devils here. What do your numbers say, Alex?
My numbers say that opening number 1, or maybe even pick them. Let me see the exact number that I have here between these two. But I did write down that it was definitely a lean for me taking the points with Arizona State. So half. I made Duke a half a point favorite here between these two. And we know that we will not have the starting quarterback for Arizona State, but Jeff Sims has played the past 4 games, 7 touchdown passes to 5 INTs, also is a dual threat. So just under 500 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. My Arizona State number is already with Sam Levitt out, right? And Jeff Sims in. So I do like that play. I do think Arizona State will show up. Now, there are some opt-outs on both sides, which you do have to worry about, but kind of like the points here. And I know we don't tease college very often, but this one and the next one, I don't hate teasing both of those underdogs up to get a few more points there. But I think I'm just going to take a small flyer here on the Sun Devils. Do you trust the Duke Blue Devils?
No, I will never trust the Dukies. But there is a lot of injury concern and opt-out concern for Arizona State. It looks like they have 17 guys either already in the transfer portal, opting out, or are straight up injured in this game. And Duke only has 3 opt-outs and 3 injuries that they're dealing with. So it could be a lot more guys for Manny Diaz's team playing for their coach, which I do think the Arizona State is in the same boat of guys playing for their head coach, being the fact that Kenny Dillingham loves that university so much. So have to think the guys on both sides will be fired up for their coach, and we'll end up getting a good game here. So the line being priced where it is, I do think it is right, and I hope we get a close game in that one. But
me too. I will say the one positive is Kenny Dillingham does allow his players to play in these games, even if they are in the transfer portal. So we'll see who decides to actually do that. We know the injury concerns, not wanting to get hurt because they are probably pursuing a next stop and some money to go with that. But this is probably actually one of my least favorite of the bowl games coming up.
Okay. You're talking about that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That 3.5.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll go to the second of the 2 games down in Florida. This one down in Orlando, the Citrus Bowl between Michigan and Texas. Texas is a currently 5-point favorite. Got as high as 8. Opened 5, got as high as 8, and we've come back down now to where it opened at 5. And the total doing the same thing. Opened, actually, I lied. Opened 46.5, has come steady up to 48.5 now. So, Alex, what do your numbers say down in Orlando?
A lot of movement here in this one. I was going to give out that +7 because I do think that Michigan can hang around in this one, but not as confident here at 5 or 5.5. My numbers actually have Texas 3. Both sides are definitely missing guys. You might have the exact number there, Ryan, but I just think Michigan has a lot to play for right now, went through a lot, and will be up for this challenge going against Texas here. And I think their defense is going to give Arch Manning trouble. So I think the points are definitely a premium here. And so it's a lean now at that number, but I took it at 7 here for the Michigan Wolverines.
So it does look like all but 3 players made the trip for Michigan in this one, but they do have potential. Bryce Underwood will play, and Marlon Klein will play, but could be missing 2 corners, defensive tackle, linebacker, safety. So could be missing some guys on defense, and then dealing with a good amount of injuries as well on the Michigan side. And then Texas has 8 guys in the transfer portal, has 7 guys already opted out of this game. 7 of their top 11 defenders in terms of snap count, according to Action Network. So could also be missing Cole Brevard at one of their defensive tackles. So yeah, you mentioned the opt-outs in this one. Kind of stinks for the bowl game and the Big Ten versus SEC, but we've kind of seen the SEC struggle a little bit here in these bowl games.
We have, and we've seen the Big Ten look really good, right? I'm wondering if my numbers aren't that high. I made it 46, but everything you just mentioned sounds like there's a lot more on both teams on the defensive side. So maybe we get some points here, and it's kind of just a meaningless go out there and see what your offense has got, right?
I wouldn't hate it. More fun in this bowl season to get those kind of offensive battles, those shootout type games. Because I mean that's what the public wants. Nobody wants to watch what we watched with Miami and Texas A&M and that defensive battle, the kind of better football game, but not as much public interest in that.
Does it say there, Ryan, on who is going to be the interim DC because for Texas? I heard, and maybe I should check my sources, but I heard that Texas had fired their defensive coordinator.
They did fire Pete Kwiatkowski and hired Will Muschamp to be their new DC. I don't know if he'll actually be their interim for this game. Let me see if I can find that real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's very interesting too. I guess somebody kind of has to take the fall, but I didn't think it would be on the defensive side for the Longhorns, where they were actually in a lot of their SEC games and they were tight, lower scoring games, but offensively they struggled.
So Muschamp will not be the defensive coordinator in this game. He will be there for next year for Texas. It will be Johnny Nansen, who was the co-defensive coordinator this year. So yeah, they found their fall guy, and the guy that was their co this year will take over and call the defense.
Last but not least for today. Now this one I really don't have any strong takes on, but I am curious, especially you already said it's the highest total on the board. But it's a lot of points here. But
Yep.
let's break it down and look at who we have. So we know that Kyle Whittingham will no longer be coaching this game, and originally he was going to, but it will be Morgan Scaley who is going to take over next year. So that makes this a little bit interesting. And then Nebraska, I had so many points. I mean, I think their raw power rating could be close to that, but I think it's just too many points in a bowl game here. So it's another lean to the dog taking 14. But we know no Dylan Raiola as well.
Yeah, we got as high as 17, open 15, climbed to 17, and then has been steady down to now 14. Total open 50, high as 51.5, and now here at 51. So a little early action to the over, a little bit buyback on there for the under. But it would be, yeah. We're going to have some good fans for both sides in this game. I know that Utah is closer in proximity, but there are a good amount of Cornhusker fans here in Las Vegas as residents. So I do expect there to be a good crowd here for this one, especially on New Year's. Although the one caveat to that is that the Knights are playing at the same time. So maybe more people interested in the VGK against the Predators, but I digress. I mean, this one will be a stay away for me, but it would be more so a look at maybe Nebraska. I won't play it. I'm not confident in it, but the two scores with Nebraska would be the side I lean to.
So looking at my numbers, I actually did make it 55 for the total, and Kenny White's numbers are 60. So he has got a heavy lean to the over. You have not jumped in with that poll.
There you go, Jimmy Football. They got your answer of what the numbers say for the total in that one.
Little bit of concern there, right? 2 backup quarterbacks we have going. So that could make that a little bit tough, but it is indoors, so could definitely see some points there. Looking at the bowl game that is already going on here with Iowa and Vanderbilt, Iowa with a nice 7-3 lead with less than a minute to go in that second quarter. Do you have a live in-game number for that one?
Let's see what it is in the market. No, I'm gonna have to find it real quick.
Okay. I know that is the one thing with our odds screen there, but
Well, Iowa, just scored.
did they?
13-3, yeah.
Okay.
Looks like it's Iowa minus 7.5, near even money, but just locked back up. So money line on Vandy, if you think they'll come back, looks like it's plus 285.
And Vandy closed as 3 or 3.5 point favorite. Is that right?
$3 now. They closed a 3-point favorite here at the South Point.
I almost put that in the chat too, to take the points with Vandy, because you knew that
With Iowa?
with Iowa, yeah, you knew that they were going to show up and that defense was going to give them a little bit of trouble. But I did not expect this 13-3 right now going into the half. I don't hate taking the points with them, though. I do think Vandy could come back and keep this thing close. If you're getting 7, getting a whole touchdown now, I don't think they'll just roll over in this bowl game.
Let me see if we can find a better price, because right now you're laying minus 120 to get the points there with Vandy.
Okay.
Let's see.
And then, of course, we're going to move to some hockey, get our plays on the ice. What is that? Rangers and Capitals score right now. Tied
1-1 and 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you like anything in that game?
I did end up going under the 6 because I was debating going under 5.5. And then when I saw a lot of action come in on the over this morning and it move up to 6, I jumped in there. The last time these two played, if you remember, we talked about this game and I actually liked the under. Rangers won 7-3.
Yeah.
So I thought Logan Thompson would show up in this one, and I know he's struggled as of late, but I thought a 6 was a good number between those two. And you had some notes with Jonathan Quick, right?
Yeah. Well, so first to mention the 7-3 game, that was just over a week ago. So these two teams should have that game in their memory, and I would have thought there would be a much more physical game, which I haven't been able to watch the first period, but 1-1 kind of says that it's been a little bit of a hard-fought game. Looking at who's in net, though, Jonathan Quick for the Rangers has lost 5 straight. The Rangers have lost 5 straight of Jonathan Quick starts. They've also gone under in 7 straight of his starts. So he did play the under in that game. Let's hope those streaks continue.
Right now it's on pace to be right there at that 6, but we'll see. Hopefully that's a low-scoring second period for us. Let's keep it going with the rest of the hockey slate and see what we like and give out our best bets there before Chris Andrews joins us. Ryan, you want to take it away for the one right down the street?
Yeah, in T-Mobile Arena, the Nashville Predators are taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. This puck drop is just after noon, so just before the Las Vegas Bowl kicks off. So anybody trying to get to those games, good luck. The traffic should be heavy, especially on New Year's Eve. But anyway, we got the Knights as a minus 180 favorite here at the South Point. Prices vary in the market. Plus 160 on the Vyback. Total is at 6 with a 115 to the over.
Are you seeing the same thing? No Carter Hart in this one. We're going with Akira.
Yeah.
So my numbers are actually pretty identical to what they have here, minus 180 for VGK at home. And the total slight lean to the under. I've got 6 under 20 for me's, and if under's just minus 105 in this one. And we've talked about the struggles of Nashville and them scoring, but they've been a lot better as of late, and VGK is on a over streak, 5 straight overs for them. So it's a lean to the under, but nothing definite. Did you like anything between these two?
Might have a little two-way action because I liked the under. I think Akira will play pretty good in net tonight. They've been let me see if I got to get my notes.
Not two-way action. I'm with you.
Oh, my bad. All right. Yeah, two unders there, so maybe the Sports by the Book stamp of approval.
Yes.
So, yeah, middle of a road trip for Nashville. 7 straight games. They have 3 more after today. But Nashville is playing really good recently, really through the entire month of December. They are have won 11 of their last 16, and the Knights are really struggling. Only winners of 1 of their last 6, only winners of 7 of their last 17. So I'm hoping that, the pucks will not find the back of the net today. Even though our guy Attila will be in attendance, I do think it will be a lower scoring game.
I agree. And I thought Minnesota Knights was going to be a lower scoring game, but it was the worst start for Carter Hart since being here with Vegas, and kind of expected, right? You got to have an off night there, and that was a really good Minnesota team, but they settled down, and Schmid was great when he did go in for him. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think the under's probably the way to go in that one. And some of former Vegas Golden Knights will be playing there for Nashville. I know Jonathan Marchessault is still hurt, but Nick Hague will be there playing for the Preds. So should be a great game to attend as well.
Yes. All right, we've got one in Anaheim. The Tampa Bay Lightning on the road taking on the Ducks. We got it priced as a road favorite for the Lightning, minus 155, 135 on the home team. Buyback for the home team. Total is at 6.5. Flat here at the South Point. There are juices to the over in the market.
The Ducks need to figure it out here. They've lost 3 in a row, and Tampa Bay on the other side, winners of 4 straight. I do think that number's right for the Lightning, even on the road. I was trying to figure out how to play this one, but didn't get involved yet. I'm leaning to an over, though. I think we will see goals. Both of these two medians are the same. There are 4 goals for and 3 goals against. I think Tampa will ultimately score a few more, but I think we could get them from both sides here. So I like over 6.5. Not a definite play. What say you, Ryan?
Well, I'm hoping the Lightning score more goals, a lot more goals than the Ducks do here in this game. The Lightning are winners of 4 straight, 4-1 to start road trips this year, and they've covered the puck line in 3 of those 4 wins. They are starting a road trip here. So the Ducks are really struggling, only won 2 of their last 9, and 5 of those 7 losses, 5 of them have been by at least 2 goals. So it will be a play on the Lightning here, covering the puck line, plus 160 here at the South Point.
I like it. Good number. They're getting that plus 160, and I'm going to follow you with the puck line for the next one.
All right. We've got the Minnesota Wild on the road in San Jose taking on the Sharks. The Wild are a minus 180 favorite here at the South Point. Total is 6.5. This one with juice to the under.
It's hard to get some of these teams, their power rating high enough, and Colorado, Minnesota, those are 2 of them. But I did it with the Wild now. I made them actually a $2 favorite here on the road against San Jose. So I'm going to go puck line with the Wild. And after I dug into this one a little bit, I liked it even more because the first 2 matchups, the Sharks won in Minnesota 6-5 and 2-1. So I think the Wild will treat this like a business trip. And I think they can win comfortably in this one, at least by 2 goals. So I'm going Wild puck line in this one. Best number I saw was plus 140, but I'll put plus 135 on the whiteboard that is available here at the South Point.
Well, I am not as confident as you to lay the puck line here with the Wild. I will be tying them together with a team that we talk about later, just as a money line play, because I do think that they will remember those 2 games against the Sharks, even though those 2 were before Quinn Hughes got to town. So, yeah, Sharks won both straight this year. The Wild are in the middle of a road trip, 7-game road trip. They do have 4 more after this one. So, yeah, talk about it being a business trip. They still have a full week left in this business trip, and I think they'll be able to take care of business here tonight.
Trust me, I thought the same thing. I actually might take them a little money line with another team as well, just as a little insurance there. Because, I mean, looking at those last 2 games, too, decided by 1 goal.
Yeah.
So, Sharks can score. They definitely can. That's why we're seeing a 6.5 there.
They're also playing a little better recently, but
yeah,
still the Sharks. All right, we'll go to Detroit. The first ever battle between Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane against each other. Winnipeg Jets and the Detroit Red Wings. Both guys, sadly, no longer Blackhawks. But anyway, we have it priced as a pick'em here at the South Point, and pretty much everywhere else in the market. It is minus 110, and a total flat at 6. So pick'em everywhere on the board in this game.
Why has this moved so far? It was minus 130 yesterday for the Red Wings. I made it minus 140, so kind of just passed it. I also made it 6, but now at minus 110, that is a heavy lean to the Red Wings. The Jets have lost 6 in a row. I'm sure Ryan's going to tell us more about that, but I'm very confused with the line movement here and while people are betting on Winnipeg.
I don't have much more for Winnipeg other than, they've lost 6 straight. And the Wings have won 10 of their last 14. So they're playing really good. It is the first of a back-to-back, though, for the Red Wings. They kind of start a home-and-home with the Penguins starting tomorrow. They've got back-to-back Penguins tomorrow, and then they got a night of rest, and then they are in Pittsburgh the following. So home-and-home with the Penguins coming up for the Red Wings. But yeah, it is a play here on the Red Wings. I also did not understand the move from 130 to 110, but the fact that your numbers back it up even more, I do like the Red Wings here to get this one done.
That's before I even add in the 6-game losing streak for the Jets as well. So interesting. Maybe it's just a play on Hellebuck and thinking the Jets will turn it around here, but I didn't realize the Red Wings, what'd you say, 10 of their last 14?
Yep.
I like that too, kind of that heating up and vibe factor and how they are playing, because I just have won their last one, right? The streaks, and then they kind of end. But yeah, I like that. I might actually tie that up with my Minnesota Wild.
They're also the top team in the Atlantic, and with Winnipeg really struggling, that might be a good puck line. The fact that they get to end the year at home there for Detroit, but Winnipeg should be fighting pretty hard trying to end this losing streak. So maybe not, but maybe a little pizza money on that plus 230.
Oh, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Plus 230 on that one. All right, I found something interesting. Curious your thoughts for this next game on what I was thinking.
And we're going to Devils and Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets, a minus 120 favorite at home, getting even money on the buyback for the Devils. Total is at 6 flat here at the South Point.
So Monday, I like the Blue Jackets money line. I did not put it on my board. I hope people did tail and take that one. They did win outright as an underdog. Now this one, I've got them minus 105 at home, so pretty much a pick 'em between these two. I was thinking an overtime bet or a tie in regulation. I saw plus 290. So diving into this one, Columbus, I imagine they have to be second behind the Knights, who have 15 overtime games, right, Vince? I believe they're at 15. Columbus has 13. The Devils have 9, which one we saw here in Vegas not too long ago. I was thinking a little pizza money on that one for these two to go to overtime. It's a coin flip game. The number's telling you that, and I could see it being a battle down to the end.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that at all. The Devils have lost 4 straight games for the second time this month. A loss tonight would tie their longest losing streak of the season. They are 1-4 this year on the second night of a back-to-back. Losers of 4 straight. They have not won the second of a back-to-back since their first 5 games of the season, which is when they were one of the hottest teams in the NHL. Right. So really, really struggling are the Devils. And the Blue Jackets have won 3 straight games against the Kings, the Islanders, and the Senators. And they are now home for a full week, so they get to feel good and are feeling good after those 3 wins against those opponents, and now get to feel good by being home and sleeping at home for the next full week. So, yeah, it could be a little bit of a sleepy slot for the Blue Jackets. Maybe not trying to win by a puck line, but yeah, overtime certainly possible there. You said plus 290?
Yep.
Okay.
So plus 290. And I believe you brought that up about the Devils not too long ago when it worked out where they lost on the second of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that moving forward.
All right. We'll go to the highest listed total, the one that we gave you in our poll between the Sabres and Stars. Stars, a minus 155 favorite here at home, plus 135 for the Sabres, and total is at 6 with a 120 to the over.
I can't get behind that over. Is it 6 or 6.5, Ryan?
It looks like it's a 6 here at the South Point. There are 6.5s in the market, but it looks like that one has the juice to the under, minus 130, 135, depending on the spot.
Okay, so not necessarily the highest, because there are some 6.5s with Tampa Bay and then the Sharks game and the Wild, but one of the highest here with the 6 for the Sabres and the Stars. I made it 6. I have nothing on this one, really. I made Dallas a little bit bigger of a favorite, $2 at home. Another one trying to catch up with their power rating, but you have to add in the fact that the Sabres have won 9 in a row. So adding that in there, it's a no play for me, but I'm just excited to watch this one. Anything for you?
Yeah, no, nothing for me in this one. 2 offenses playing Buffalo playing really well. Obviously, a chance to win their 10th straight game here in Dallas, and Dallas struggling a little bit with some health concerns there. So it'll be a stay off. So we can. Do you want to mention the Blues, who are getting plus 270 against the Avalanche in Colorado?
I've got nothing in that one.
Okay.
It is going to be Binnington, right, and Wedgwood.
That is what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I still do not trust Jordan Binnington, but he has been playing a little bit better. But if you look at those numbers, if you're watching on YouTube, a 3.44 goals against average and an 870 save percentage, so not the same Binnington as the guy that was the goalie for the jersey you're wearing. But we'll see if he can turn it around. I've got nothing. It would be a play on the Avalanche. If anything, I was even looking for them in regulation, though, and it's like minus $2.
Oh, my God. Oh, man.
So it's tough to bet on Colorado.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to Philadelphia and Calgary. Philadelphia is getting plus 115 on the road. Calgary a minus 135 favorite at home. Total is 5.5 with a juice to the over.
I was tempted to play the Flyers in this one, but they are on a back-to-back, and it was a high-scoring game yesterday, away to away. On the other side, Calgary's playing good. They've won 7 of their last 10, so it's a stay off for me.
All right, yeah, I don't have anything in that one either, so I'll just go to the final game on the ice tonight between the Boston Bruins and the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers are a minus 190 favorite here at the South Point, plus 170 on the buyback for the Bruins. Total is 6.5, this one with juice to the under.
I'm going to lay that juice there. I'm going to go under 6.5. I think that's a pretty good price here. Now, when you're looking at Edmonton, their totals are a lot higher than Boston, of course, but I think comparing the two, we can stay under this 6.5. And Boston on the road, median goals for and goals against is 3. I think Jeremy Swayman will be able to slow down this Edmonton offense, and I think Connor Ingram can do just enough against this Boston offense that has been struggling. So Boston, losers of 6 in a row coming into this one, and it's a tough team to have to face. So I do agree with them being that big of a favorite at home too, but under 6.5 for me in this one.
Yeah, you talk about the Bruins, losers of 6 straight. That started with a 3-1 loss at home to these Edmonton Oilers. The Bruins are now in the middle of a road trip, 5 games total. So smack dab in the middle here, 2 more, Vancouver and Seattle coming up next. But Edmonton gets to start a full week at home here. And just a fun note, if you want to go with trends, the entire month of December for the Oilers started with a loss, 2 wins, loss, 2 wins, loss, 2 wins, loss, 2 wins, loss, and they won their last game on Monday. So ending 2025, ending the month of December with another 2 wins before a loss, possibly in 2026. I will be tying that up. Edmonton Oilers on the money line, plus the Minnesota Wild on the money line in order to get plus money with both of those large favorites here tonight.
Very good. All right. For all of our football fans who are wondering why we took the detour, very good. I like it. Odds to win the conferences. We've got 4 Eastern and Western conferences there. Of course, those odds are here at the South Point. If you see anything you like and you want to come make a bet. But back to football in just a minute because Chris Andrews is going to join us. Ryan, do you want to read the trivia now before we take our break to give people a clue? And if you are watching live, please throw in the correct answer if you know it in the chat.
Yeah, as we're moving back to football talk, it is a football question for you guys today. So Ticker Trivia presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and available here at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. In one of the top NFL weather games of all time, what is known as the Fog Bowl, was a divisional game that took place December 31st, 1988. Which 2 teams were involved in that game? That is your Ticker Trivia. We will give you guys a chance to answer. We're going to be right back after this break.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
I think we're going to get goals from both sides here. Give me over 5.5.
That is also one of my favorite plays of the weekend is the Colts -3 on the road.
So you're getting plus 130 here.
I mean, how can you go against Tusky?
Exactly.
Join Sports by the Book at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
And we are back here, Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino, South Las Vegas Boulevard, the best casino. We don't just say that because we work here, right, Chris Andrews? And if people are here for New Year's Eve and they want to stay off the Strip, it's got to be a great place to spend their New Year's Eve.
Yeah, but we'll be pretty jammed too, though.
Okay. So there's a heads up. But it is the best prices, and if you were already planning on coming down here, don't let Chris convince you otherwise. It'll be a lot of fun.
No, but if you're looking at any of the shows, they're all sold out.
Okay.
Everything's sold out.
Well, hopefully people
But you can eat in
plan
restaurants,
ahead.
You know.
How packed is the sports book going to be?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not saying it's packed right now. We got a few people in, obviously, but I'm a little late coming down because the guys are firing at me.
Okay.
I got a lot of. I just wrote down the moves,
We'd love to hear.
because we're all over the place. Well, let's start out with the colleges.
Okay.
Okay. Here's what they're betting. Because we got the Michigan coming up. So I just pulled out I was just looking at that. I know they're playing today. They're firing on Michigan, so I'll be rooting for Texas. They bet Nebraska.
From 7, were you at 7 earlier this morning?
I think so. We're down to 5 now. Right?
Right when we were going through that game, I was going to get out.
Oh, yeah. They're firing like crazy.
Okay.
Nebraska, they bet that a little bit earlier in the week, so we're down there. A lot of money still coming in on Oregon. We're not at 2.5 yet, but it's mostly 2.5 in the market. And, when they bet me, I'll move it, is all I could tell you, because I do like Texas Tech. A lot of money on Indiana. Now, that's mostly public play, but not that they have the wrong side. Again, I made that number 7. I don't know. We'll see. I know there's a lot of, Alabama in the memory banks that may trigger some play there. I heard some guys on the air this morning talking about they liked Alabama. I'm not sure I like it. Like I said, I made the number 7, so I really don't like anybody. And the Georgia game, we're getting a little good two-way action on Georgia. We're back to 6.5. We were at 6.5. We went to 6. We're back to 6.5. So actually, a lot of good two-way action in some of the other games. Like Navy's run from 2 to 7.5, and we're even lower than some in the market. The Rice game kind of exploded this morning. I can't even think of any others. I was just writing these down as quick as I could because, like I said, I wanted to get down here, and that guy was just firing at me like crazy. So let's go over to the pros. We've got some interesting. Go ahead. What do you got?
Really quick, because yesterday on Monday you said the Bulls season wasn't great for you, but yesterday was a pretty good one, wasn't it? Looked like everybody loved Louisiana Tech. They did find a way to win, but Coastal covered. Decent.
Covered what?
They didn't cover?
Well, no, they covered
just
late
barely,
numbers. They didn't cover.
Okay.
We opened the game 7.
So they got everything in between.
Good.
Okay.
That was not a good result for us.
Okay. So then Illinois wins outright?
That was a good one.
Okay. So.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yes and no.
I mean, we made a little bit of money, but it wasn't good by any means. It was okay.
Okay. I did have another question just on those that you went through, but let's go.
Go ahead.
We can go to the pros first.
No, ask me at college.
I can't remember. I might have to see your list.
Tough getting sick, huh? Isn't it, sweetheart? I can tell you're still not 100%. All right, let me go through the pros. They bet me the Bucks minus 2.5, and that's going to be a 2.5-3 game. I could see that's good. I'm going to get back to the Niners-Seattle game in a minute because that's interesting. They bet me the Bears minus 2.5. They bet me the Jets. And I was going through. The Jets are actually a half point lower than the Raiders, even considering all the Raiders stuff that they're doing. But they took the Jets plus 9, plus 8, plus 7.5. So that game is tumbled, obviously. I bet me the Ravens minus 3. That was early in the week. And I think that's going to be a 3.5 game. They bet me the Giants plus the 5, plus 4.5. So I'm down there. They bet the Commanders yesterday. Some guy evidently knew what was going on. Philly is playing almost nobody.
Right.
Jalen Hurts is out. Carter, the defensive lineman's out. Barkley, the running back's out. That's the tip of the iceberg. So probably a lot of other guys are out too that just didn't make the headlines. So a lot of money on the Commanders. We reopened the game at 4. But guy took 7.5 on the yesterday. Now they're playing. I can understand this. The Saints plus 3.5. They're playing some pretty good ball right now.
Yes.
And I think that's a team going into the offseason I think is going to be on a high note. Very optimistic about the future. I think they got the right coach. I'm not sure they have the right quarterback, but they might. I think if somebody's available in the draft that they see value in, I wouldn't be surprised if they take him. But I like Tyler Shuck coming out of college. I was kind of hoping the Steelers would grab him. Evidently, they didn't. But they might have the right quarterback. I haven't seen enough to say one way or the other. And he's a little bit old, too. He's like 26.
Yeah.
So I think they have to make a decision as to what they want to do with him. But so far, so good. Now let's get back to the Niners-Seattle game. So the straight bets are on Seattle. But I got guys, with some pretty significant money, betting me parlays, 49ers to the Arizona Cardinals. They feel if Arizona win, or if the Niners win, the Rams have nothing to play for. And that's the combination. So we're kind of all over. Now, I maneuvered around a little bit with the Seattle 49er game because that game's, pick 1.5. You can mess around with those numbers a little bit. I didn't want to mess around with the Rams number. That's on 7. And, moving off of that, I didn't, because I also have a day to figure out what I want to do with that game if the Niners do indeed win that game. Now, the Niners are far from a lock to win that game. Let me just tell you right now. And I know they're playing some terrific offense. Yeah, not so much on defense. But, Seattle right now, I think they probably are the most complete team. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I easily said the Rams. But, boy, I just don't like the way Stafford's been playing lately. And they have a couple injuries. Of course, Devontae Adams figures to be back. That'll help a lot. But, he's just not playing his best ball right now. And I don't know if, a lot of guys are talking about the functionality of the schedule when we're talking about MVP, him versus Drake May. Drake May has essentially played the weakest schedule in the NFL, where Matthew Stafford has played the toughest. How does that enter in? I don't know. Again, 6 weeks from now, we'll have all the answers. Right now, I don't have them. But it's going to be interesting how that plays out. But right now, Stafford is not playing his best ball. So I don't know. But I still, I'd be real hesitant to bet Arizona. That's a team that's just has fallen apart completely.
Well, and Sean McVay did say that his starters were playing because they were not playing their best right now. So kind of wanted to use that before going into playoffs. Now that could change, and Ryan probably knows more on why that would be so meaningless in regards to the seeding.
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure it's totally meaningless, but the way it worked out, you're probably better off being the 5 as opposed to the 6.
Yes, you want to be the 5.
Yeah, the 5 is a pretty good spot to be in if you're a team that has a lot of confidence like the Rams do, because they're going to play either Tampa or Carolina, and be I don't know how significant a favorite. They'll be fairly significant, probably maybe a touchdown. We'll see how things go. But I do have, like I said, this one guy. I don't want to mention his name or anything much about him, but he has some pretty good angles on things. I've known him. I know who he is. He was a customer of mine back in like 04 and 05. And I know he's very sharp. We'll talk maybe off air. But I have to respect him, and he played that parlay pretty good and put in a couple other combinations. But that's the essentials of the parlay, is Niners to the Cardinals.
So just to kind of jump in, the Niners winning against Seattle would give the Niners the 1 seed. Seattle has the tiebreaker over Los Angeles, so they would be the 5, and the game would be meaningless. The Cardinals-Rams game would be meaningless for them because they'd be locked into 6. The Packers cannot jump from 7. So the Packers are locked into 7. The Niners win. The Rams would be 6. Seahawks would be 5. Winner of the NFC South 4. And then depending on the Eagles-Bears results, Bears win, they're 2. Bears lose. Eagles win, they're 2. And then obviously the 1 seed. Chris, talking about correlated games, though, I was wondering, you said that you're getting Saints play. Is any of it correlated to Buccaneers and Saints? The fact that the Buccaneers need the Saints to win as well in order to get the NFC South, or is there any Panthers and Falcons, or maybe Bucks Falcons being after the Falcons win, the Panthers automatically get in?
I know that scenario. I haven't seen any parlays linking them together.
Okay,
but that is a scenario that's all of a sudden just one of the weird mixes with a 3-way tie as opposed to a 2-way tie. So, but I have not seen anybody playing that combination.
Okay.
Certainly not for any serious money.
Going back to that NFC, it's amazing how much that 1 seed is going to matter, right? Because I mean,
Sure.
really, the Rams, what you were saying just a few weeks ago, and now I think Seattle, I think they really need that 1 seed. Where if we get the Eagles and the Rams playing each other in the first round, I mean, those are the two that Seattle does not want to face.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting.
Well, the thing about Seattle, people have to remember they were known for many years as being one of the strongest home teams in the NFL. Not that they're tough to beat anywhere now. That's my point.
Yeah.
They're still a great road team. One of the best in the NFL on the road. The Niners have had, I know people that have been into that stadium. It's not real conducive to, to like fan intimidation of the other team. It's just not like that. Plus, if you know the Bay Area, like I know fairly well, that's not really the mantra. That's like the wine and cheese crowd more than anything else. But I think Seattle will not be intimidated. I did give the Niners a little bit for home field in this situation because they have been a lot better this year at home. But Seattle, I don't think will be intimidated. And I think listen, everybody's looking at Sam Darnold, and that's going to be the story of the game, one way or the other.
Yeah, but nobody's talking about the fact that he's led 2 different teams to this point in Week 18 to have a chance
2 weeks in a row.
for the
Or
1
2 years
seed.
in a
2
row.
years in a row,
Yeah.
2 different teams. That's
Yeah.
pretty incredible right there.
Yeah.
I do want to go through NFC odds and even to win the championship for here. But Ryan, you have something else before we get to those?
No, that's exactly what I was curious about. Well, really, in the NFC side and for the Super Bowl, the 3 NFC teams are the favorite, or 3 NFC West teams are the favorite to win the NFC and the favorites to win the Super Bowl. But the difference being that the Seahawks are favored or have the shortest price to win the NFC, but the Rams have the shortest price to win the Super Bowl. Chris, is that only because of liability?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, we do pretty good on the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. We don't lose anything on the Rams, but I always have like a certain target in mind that I want to have in my pocket when they kick off for the Super Bowl. We're not nearly there on the Rams. Now, I still got a couple weeks. I could do some maneuvering back and forth. We'll see what happens. But as of now, Seattle is a very good team for me to win the Super Bowl. And, I can't complain about that. I mean, they look pretty darn good right now.
Yes, they definitely do. How about on the AFC side, Ryan?
Well, we have the Broncos. We've got the Super Bowl odds right now, right? Yeah. Okay. So Broncos are favored in the AFC side to get there and win it. 8-1, 9-1 for both the Bills and Patriots, the 2 AFC East teams, and then the Texans 10-1, Jags 12-1. Chris, is that kind of an anticipation that, well, not necessarily anticipation, but just respecting more what the Texans are doing versus what the Jags are doing, even though the Jags can win the AFC South with a win on Sunday?
No, it's strictly a function of money. I think I had mentioned it before. A guy came in when what was Houston, like 2-6 or something at the time? And the guy made a pretty big bet, and I'm thinking, what the hell is this guy looking at? But it's a pretty sharp guy and made substantial wager, and I've been maneuvering ever since then. Now, at this point in time, I don't really lose anything on the Texans, but I make like this much, and I that's not my ideal scenario to go into the Super Bowl. And listen, everybody knows who's been watching this show. I love Stroud. I love D'Amico Ryans. I love their defense. So do they have a shot? Hell yeah, they got a really good shot. And if Seattle's not the best defense in the league, I think Houston is.
I think so too.
And Denver might have something to say about that. But by the way, Denver I do well on. Buffalo I do okay on. New England I do okay. Right now the best team for me is the Jaguars, and I wouldn't mind seeing them win. And they got a shot. They got a shot as good as any. I think right now that AFC is just a lot of parity in the AFC. There's a lot of parity in the NFC too, except it's all the good teams are in the one division.
Well, it's pretty wild. The Texans are not out yet to win that division. So if they win, they are a 10.5-point favorite, and the Jags lose, but they're a 12.5-point favorite over the Titans. Same window, though. They're both playing in that early window, so it's kind of interesting.
They try to do that every year, put teams in so you don't know
So then they can't.
So they can't, but it's
Rest.
almost impossible to do that.
Yeah.
There's just, especially this year, it seems like there were so many variables. It was because you want to get 2 Saturday games.
Right.
And, I thought they might, they got the Steeler game Sunday night, which is a good spot. That game needed to be by itself. I don't want to question the NFL. It seems to have been okay. And right now we're doing this much business on these games. So I don't want to bitch too much about that.
Right. Anything else for NFL?
So not necessarily in terms of what would result best for the book Super Bowl matchup wise, but Chris, what do you think would be the best matchup handle wise for the big game?
Well, I still think Buffalo is a tremendously popular public team. Josh Allen, coming off a MVP season. I don't think he'll win it this year, but he's still, very viable. And I got to tell you, any one of those West Coast teams, and even, like you'd be surprised how many San Francisco people come to this town. I mean, there's a lot. Well, there's a lot of money in San Francisco. A lot of money in Seattle, too. And, of course, L.A. is right down the street. So any one of those West teams would be the best scenario for us as far as handle. And I think Buffalo would probably be the best one out of the AFC.
Okay, I'm going to go back to college because I remembered my question. And it was the money on Indiana. Does that have to do with the weather that they are projecting in Pasadena? That's
a good question. And when was the last time a Rose Bowl had weather as any kind of an influence at all? I don't know. But, I mean, right now, this is we were at 6.5 for a little while. Wise Guys definitely laid me the 6.5. But at 7, they're still betting Indiana. But I think at this point, that's mostly public money. But, I don't know. You would think that would maybe help a Midwest team, that's more used to bad weather.
And the fact that Alabama really can't run the ball. So, I mean, they can. Yeah. I was trying to find, Indiana can win a bunch of different ways, right? Alabama's only got a couple. And one of them is kind of just going out firing and having Ty Simpson, do what he does. And they have a good passing attack, and that's it. But if there's rain and bad weather, what are they going to do?
Does anybody remember when Indiana went up to Oregon? How was the weather that day? I don't remember. You remember, Ryan, by any chance?
I
mean, it's almost always
just
rainy
kind of
in Oregon.
Figuring. Yeah, I think it was like a cloudy day. Yeah, I think 50 degree range. But
now they went to Penn State and won, but that was nice weather that day. They beat Ohio State, indoors, so you can't take that. But they went up to Oregon, and I mean, they manhandled a very good Oregon team. I mean, that's when you suddenly woke up and said, "This isn't just a lot of crap from Kurt Signetti or." Nice Cinderella story. This is a legit team. I mean, they beat them bad that day. And if that's any indicator, and the weather probably wasn't good in Oregon, but my memory doesn't quite serve me there, then I think the advantage probably does go to Indiana. And plus, let's not forget, too, and Ryan, I know not you yourself, but your family, you're from Big Ten country. When the Big Ten is in the Rose Bowl, that's a big thing. Mm-hmm. And I've been to the Rose Bowl. That's a huge thing. And I know there's a lot of Indiana people in L.A. right now that cheer on their team. And listen, they might have the best team. I mean, why not? Like I said, they beat Penn State, they beat Oregon, they beat Ohio State. That just doesn't happen.
Right.
I mean, they're good.
And Big Ten's done very well so far
Yes, they have.
In these bowl games. And it'll be interesting to see if they get 3 past this quarterfinals. But that's kind of where I want to move to next because we broke down
they're favored to get 2.
They're
favored to get 3.
Yes, they are.
A very slight favorite in the one.
That one I think is the most interesting.
Yeah.
And you did make a bet, and you've been talking about this team, and I'm gonna follow suit after really diving into it. I agree with you. I do like the dog in tomorrow's game, and we'll be on air. We're gonna do our show from 10 to 11, so we'll kind of be giving live updates, and then we'll go through the other 2 games as well. But tonight. That really hasn't moved. Ohio State, the Cotton Bowl, 9.5. You touched 10 for a second.
We opened 9. We were as high as 10. We're at 9.5. And that was one of the guys firing at me right now. He's I hope he's a pit player. But he bets high. So I'm not sure if I'm going to move it yet or not. I got a few hours yet.
Favorite?
No, he bet the dog.
He was taking the points with the
Mhm.
dog. Okay,
Mhm.
so you're trying to see if you're going to move down to that 9.
I don't know if I want to go to 9 or not. This is another, and you can see my notes. I made this game 9.5. I really have no opinion in this game at all. I would like Ohio State to win the game. I don't know if I would lay 360, but I made the number 9.5. I really have no opinion.
Ryan and I are both lean into a low-scoring defensive game.
Could be. Yeah.
I'm going with the unders. Going with Miami team total under 16.5. Ohio State only gave up 16 points once this entire year
Is
to
that right?
Illinois. Yeah,
Really?
that was the most they gave up in a game.
It's a
So
low total, 40.5. Yeah,
it's
really
a low
is.
total. Ryan's going to take the points with that low total. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that one plays out for us. But let's go to tomorrow morning. How come I always forget? What's the morning game? The
That's
bowl
the Oregon Texas Tech game.
at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah. I
2.5.
wish it was later. I wish it was later.
I do too. I wish it was
But
the last one.
What are you going to do?
2.5. You said you got some Oregon money late today.
Am I up at 2.5?
Yep.
See, when I left upstairs, it was 2.
Wow.
So that guy that, we move fairly quickly off those, I would assume dead numbers, 2, 2.5, 1.5. Yeah, look at that. We got plus $1.25. That's better than I took. But I don't have time to shop. All I can do is go play, So
You ended up taking
I
the
took
Red
Texas
Raiders.
Tech on the money line. Listen, if I win, I'll be happy. What can I tell you?
I'm going to follow you, and we didn't talk about this game yet, but I do want to give my notes really quick before we get out of here because that game will already be going on before tomorrow's show. But diving into this, these two are very similar, right, and kind of mirror each other. I don't want to take away that I do think Oregon is a great team, but some of the flaws, Texas Tech's flaw is in the red zone scoring, right? And 56% result in touchdowns. That's not great, but they kind of have a good matchup. Off defensively, Oregon is 117th in the red zone, giving up touchdowns. So I think they will be able to score here. On the other side, Red Raiders are plus 17 turnover margin. They are tied with Indiana as the best in the country. Everybody's been talking about that defensive front, and I do think that they can, cause some or force some turnovers here. And Dante Moore, he just threw 2 picks in the last matchup. I think they
He's
could
still
catch him
really
here.
good.
He's
I'm not
very
sure how many
good.
picks he's going to throw here, but some of those you talk about turnovers, and I said people say turnovers tend to even out, but not always. And sometimes I think you have a great defensive team like Texas Tech. They create a lot of those turnovers.
Right.
They pressure quarterbacks into making errant passes. They hit hard defensively against a running back or a receiver who has the ball.
Yep.
So a fumble on the ground, that's 50-50. But causing that fumble isn't necessarily 50-50. Causing that interception that's a credit to the defense.
We'll see. Hoping they can get by to have one Big 12 team, right? Because that is what everybody's kind of talking about, the difference in the schedules. And
Well,
it
that's
is
true.
true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best team they played was BYU twice and then Utah as well, who
Yeah.
was in our top 12, at least power ratings, maybe top 10. One thing that's very interesting to me, I want to see how this turns out. The 2 games that Oregon had problems with, the loss to Indiana, tight game against Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those teams won the time of possession battle, like 33 and some change to 26 and some change. Can Texas Tech do that? They're going to try and keep their defense off the field, but they are known for more explosive plays.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that actually pans out. But Ryan, do you have a play in this matchup? I don't want to guess, but I think you might like the other side. Like Chris and I.
I'm just a really big fan of Dan Lanning and what he's able to do as a coach, but I won't be playing this game. I think it's going to be a very, very fun game to watch. So hopefully we'll be able to figure out a way for Alex and I to watch it tomorrow as we still have our show at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. But just excited to watch that one.
By the way, being a fan of Dan Lanning, that's not irrational. He's done a lot of really good things. So you have plenty of reason to be a fan of his.
Well, you can tell he's a player's coach too, right? You can tell they love him. He knows how to have some fun as well as when to.
Well, that's part of the game right now.
Part of,
it really is. Between the portal and recruiting and all that, you have to be able to appeal to these players.
Oh yeah, Definitely. Okay, so we'll be able to break down the other two in more depth. We kind of talked about the Rose Bowl with Bama and Indiana, but just want to touch on the last one here with Ole Miss and Georgia. Any other movements there before we get out of here? You said you dropped to 6
I've
for
been back
second?
and forth, 6 and 6.5. I think I went back to 6.5 this morning. We're just all over the place. But, I had Ole Miss in that the first time they played. I really felt they most certainly outplayed them for 3 quarters, but fell apart, gave up 17 fourth quarter points. I think I lost by half a point in that one. That dirty rat, the bear, had the right side in that one. But I don't know. I mean, I think Ole Miss can definitely play with them. And that game was at Georgia. So that number was like, 7.5, 8-ish, right around there. And, I think right now on a neutral field, I think they got a great chance, But, again, I think I looked at my numbers, and I made it either 6 or 6.5. So I have no opinion in this game either.
That is the Sugar Bowl, of course, in New Orleans. Ryan, we'll give more thoughts tomorrow as we have time. Do you want to give any hints on which way you're leaning for that one?
Hotty toddy, baby. My brother attends Ole Miss, so I will have a vested interest in that game.
I did, actually. I was telling Ryan, first quarter, I saw some plus half with Ole Miss. I saw some plus 2.5.
Really?
Yes. So might want to shop around if you're going to be looking for any first quarter, first halves, which I've been talking about with the Rebels.
Which, by the way, that's why I don't go out betting that often, because I don't have time to shop around.
No.
I don't have accounts or anything, So I just kind of, that's why. It's important to do that.
Yeah, you kind of have another important job where you have to actually make sure that you don't have a bad number here, right? Okay, before we get out of here, we will give our whiteboard plays. We also have to check in with the poll, and we have to give the ticker trivia answer. Right? Anything else for Chris before we let him go and before we take a quick break, and then we'll reel it all back in?
I have nothing else for you, Chris. But thank you. Happy New Year, and
you too.
Yeah.
And Happy New Year to your whole crew up there that
Yeah.
works very hard. Is probably watching us live right now. But we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll wrap it up with our whiteboard plays, ticker trivia, and the poll question here on Sports by the Book.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the Colts here. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Is there a way to bet against both teams?
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
I do want to give a shout out to the other. There we go. Happy New Year's Eve again, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Sports by the Book. Before we get to our poll result and ticker trivia, I do want to give a shout out to the other 5 behind the scenes that nobody gets to see. It's been a great year, and it was all made possible thanks to Ann, Jerry, Sean, Vince, and Andrew. Ryan McCormick, my partner in crime, of course, as well. So very happy new year to them as well if you want to give them a shout out in the chat. But moving forward, we're going to get out of here. We've taken a lot of time, but I'm going to throw it over to Ryan for our poll results and our ticker trivia answer.
Yeah, so long 2025. What's your year's overplay today? So highest listed total in the college football, NBA, and NCAA men's basketball, and the NHLs today. So college football, we gave you Nebraska and Utah over 51 here at the South Point, minus 110. NBA, Timberwolves and Atlanta taking on the Hawks over 244 there, minus 110. South Dakota and North Dakota State at 164.5, also 110 here at the South Point. And then in the NHL, Sabres and Stars over 6, minus 120 here at the South Point. And our poll, 46% of you guys went with the hockey game, laying the minus 120 in the Stars and Sabres. And then the second place vote was here in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Bowl between the Cornhuskers and Utes. So for anybody in attendance or planning to attend that game in the next hour plus until kickoff in that one, hopefully you guys get some winners there in that one as well.
Well, it is Casey DeSmith, too, in that hockey game. So that actually leads me to that over as well. I do hope we get some goals between them. And I hope there's a lot of points in the Vegas Bowl as well. All right, Ryan. Ticker trivia before our plays.
Yep. Presented by City Light Shine. Available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Football question for you guys. Top NFL weather games of all time. The Fog Bowl was a divisional playoff game that took place New Year's Eve, 1988. Which 2 NFL teams were involved in that low visibility affair? And we got 3 correct answers in the chat today. The Chicago Bears and Philadelphia Eagles were the 2 teams that competed in that game. Visibility was apparently 15 to 20 yards ahead of them in the second quarter and on in the infamous Fog Bowl at Soldier Field in Chicago. My Chicago Bears would ultimately end up winning that game at 20-12, despite Eagles quarterback Randall Cunningham passing for 407 yards with such low visibility. But yeah, 3 correct answers there. Shout out to Greco, Nick, and Dean for the correct answers there.
You mean UNLV's Randall Cunningham?
That is true.
So kind of all ties together there here on Sports by the Book.
Former Silverado Skyhawks high school head football coach as well.
That's right. I actually got to interview him a couple times for when he was the head coach there.
Nice.
Okay, Ryan, last but not least, the best part, time for our best bets of the night. And just to remind everybody, please subscribe. We are 10 away from our goal. So share the show, get some extra people. We've got 13 hours to get it done for the goal for the year. And then again, we will be live tomorrow, 10 a.m. We'll be giving live updates for Oregon, Texas Tech. Kind of watch it with us here, and then we will be going through the other 2 games. But I will go first with my best bets. I am going with the Minnesota Wild puck line tonight against the Sharks. Get their revenge for losing the first 2 in Minnesota. They are in San Jose. Plus 135 is the number here at the South Point. I saw plus 140 is the best number. I'm going with Boston and Edmonton under 6.5. I don't think we're going to get that many goals between those 2. Tonight's game, Cotton Bowl, I'm going Miami, Florida. Team total under 16.5. And then tomorrow, I'm going with the Texas Tech Red Raiders plus 2.5. And I will be taking a little bit of that money line as well for them to win outright against the Oregon Ducks. And now to Ryan McCormick.
All right. Well, I do have some plays involving the same games that you do. Starting off with the under in the Nashville and Vegas Golden Knights game, which puck drop is in less than 45 minutes here in Las Vegas, but under 6 there, minus 105 here at the South Point. Then going with the Tampa Bay Lightning in Anaheim, laying the puck line, minus a goal and a half, getting plus 160 there against the Ducks. The Red Wings money line, for some reason, a pick 'em price against the Winnipeg Jets. So going with that one as well. And then tying together the Minnesota Wild and the Edmonton Oilers in order to get a plus price with those almost $2 favorites, each of them getting plus 137 here at the South Point. And then going with the Miami Hurricanes in the football game, plus 9.5 against the Ohio State Buckeyes. And then just to include it now, the Ole Miss Rebels on the money line, plus $2 here at the South Point against those Georgia Bulldogs. Not necessarily recommending you follow me on that one. That is more just a homer play. My brother, again, attends Ole Miss. So going to be rooting pretty heavily there. So there you go.
I will say I will be on the Rebels as well, trying to find the best price and the best number to bet out there. I'm looking first quarter or first half, and I did find a very interesting nugget about Ole Miss. They are plus 71 in the first quarter. That is third best in college football. Georgia, slow starter. They are plus 18. That is 56. So give me the Rebels to come out hot. Maybe I'll just take them on the money line first quarter and first half. But 2.5, 3.5, those are pretty tempting as well.
Yeah, if you can get those, that plus 71 in the first quarter differential definitely convinced me there.
It makes sense, right? Just watching them play, that is what you think about both of those teams. I think 6.5 is too many as well. My number is not even close to that high. But I'm scared of Kirby Smart having this much time to prepare and then halftime adjustment. So I'm going to stay off full game, but I'll be rooting for him as well. All right, that's it for us on this New Year's Eve. Do we want to do a check-in with anybody? Shout out to anybody who's watching us live in the chat, Ryan.
Vicarious Vegas, Dean Hilt, Daryl Turner, Jimmy Football, Attila, Nick Greco chimed in the chat. Thank you guys. Robert L. Thank you guys for watching, chiming in live. Thank you for being here for the majority of 2025, and we hope we keep you along for 2026. Thank you for making it a fun ride.
Love it. Yes, we appreciate all of you very much. Let's try and get to that goal today. Have a great day. Cash some tickets. Be safe. As always, do not drink and drive. Plenty of Ubers and ride shares out there. Thank you so much to the crew. Thank you to everybody up at the book. Thank you to Chris Andrews and Vinny. We appreciate all of you. One more time for the crew and Jerry, Sean, Vince, and Andrew. For Ryan McCormick, I'm Alex White. This is Sports by the Book. We'll see you again tomorrow. Happy New Year's, everyone.